This is just a quick demonstration to show the speed difference between Color Efex Pro 3 versus Color Efex Pro 4. I'm going to use one of my recently loaded images. My images are fairly large. They come off of an SSD drive, so they load pretty quickly. The scratch drive for my Photoshop is also on the SSD drive, and so it also runs pretty quickly. You can see the size down here. The image is fairly large. I'm just going to run Color Efex Pro 3 and show you how quickly it comes up. Here we go, ready, click, and done. So just from click to load is pretty quick. If you look down in the loop, it's immediately ready for use. There was no delay between loading the image and being ready to go. Once I'm done, I can click OK and watch how long it takes. Ready, go, and thinking. It takes just a moment to run through this because it's a fairly complex process, but it is done. Okay. Alright, so that all ran fairly quickly. Now if you'll watch as I do it again under Color Efex Pro 4, I think you'll see a dramatic difference. Here we go. Ready, click. Thinking, loading, preparing, pre-processing. Finally it's up and running, and the loop is not yet ready to go. I find this interesting because where it said that it was pre-processing, I was kind of assuming that that might be what it was getting ready to do. I can click here on the image. Clicking it doesn't seem to have any effect. However, every now and then, sometimes when I'm clicking, it will all of a sudden jump in and sharpen up. Right now you can see the loop is just completely out of focus. Usually I can work around the problem by doing this and then dragging it. If I go back up, you can see it still hasn't come into focus, but the area where I clicked is in focus. So not in focus, in focus, not in focus, in. Okay, so I'm going to drag this over here. This works. You can see it's rather tedious, kind of aggravating if you have to do this more than a couple of times as you're editing the images. You can see her eye is now completely sharp. The fuzziness you saw before had absolutely nothing to do with the image. It was purely the software that was failing to render it properly. And now you can see that it is showing her eyes correctly. Sometimes, and like, his ear isn't quite in focus yet, even though his eye is, at least part of it. And again, usually as I'm clicking around, sometimes it'll come into focus, sometimes not. Anyway, the point is, oops, that looked like it started to go out. The point is, the loop is often unusable, or at least aggravating, in version 4, whereas it's immediately usable in version 3. And here we're just going to click OK, just like I did with version 3. Click now, and it's thinking, loading, preparing, pre-processing, saving. This is the really slow part. Altogether it takes a lot longer time to run version 4 as it does compared to running version 3. You can replay the video and time it with your own stopwatch if you'd like, but I guarantee you there's a big difference. Thank you.